What's up everyone, my name is Jaws, as you can see on the back of my shirt, and I am a resident soph at Elgin Hall Residence at Western University. Now, today, I will be going over a first year guide to success to help you first years go through the transition from high school to university, because it is overwhelming and we've been in your footsteps, we've been through it all and we know how to help you as soph. So I want to take the time in this video to help all of you learn some things, and I hope you could take note of what I discuss in this video and learn from it. Now, let's start off with a bit about me. In my first academic year, which was last year, I'm a second year student. I lived in Medway, Sydenham, which is across from the residence I am currently living in. On top of that, I'm a huge sports enthusiast. I love KC, like the Kansas City Chiefs, and football is one of my favorite sports. So you will see a lot of football jerseys in my room or hockey jerseys in my room and stuff like that. So we're going to start off by talking about the keys to success when living in residence. Now, I understand it could be hard for a lot of you because COVID is a thing and you don't want to talk to as many people, or you're struggling to talk to as many people because of it. Now, these are some tips and tricks that I could help and provide to you guys to help you strive in residence and make new friends and be known. Now, firstly, obviously, you got to keep your doors open. I always keep mine open. I typically blast music in my room so people know I'm there. So they could come in and come talk to me, because there's nothing better than meeting new people or getting to know them better. Now, why do I keep my door open? It's a great way to meet new people. On top of that, it shows that you're comfortable with talking to other people and that you are there to talk to them if they ever need someone to talk to. Tip number 2, be outgoing, be kind, be respectful, and honest. There's nothing people like more than someone who is outgoing, kind, respectful, and honest, because they could come to you whenever they want to talk about something and they know they could trust you. Point number 3, be sociable. You have to be outgoing. You have to go talk to people, whether it's in the cafeteria or whether you're walking around campus or in residence. Talk to people, say hi, start a conversation. People will remember you that way. Point number 4, which I think is really important, help people out. If you see someone struggling, feel free to talk to them, feel free to ask them to help. And if you're concerned about anyone, come to either the residence office or housing and dorms on the floors, because we are trained, we are experienced, we know how to deal with things, and we are here to help you guys throughout the whole year. Point number 5, the most important point, be safe. I get it, you all want to have fun, but COVID is still a thing. We love to have fun too. We as sophs, it's much different for us this year than it was last year, because this all week has been completely different, and living in residence and going around campus is extremely different because there's capacities in buildings, you're limited, you have to have a face mask on, etc. So, how could you be safe? Put on your masks. Keep them on you. Bandanas don't count. That is a bad example. So, obviously, put on your masks, face masks. How do you wear them? You cover your mouth, you cover your nose, and that is how you stop the spread of the virus. Now, on top of that, if you or any friends have symptoms, go get tested. There's a testing center located on campus. You could book appointments at the university hospital or at any facility that allows COVID testing. On top of that, how else could you stay safe? Lock your door. It has been known that people in residence have got their things stolen because they left their door unlocked. We don't want that to happen to you. So when you're not in your room, don't hesitate to lock your door. You don't want people going in who you don't know and taking some of your precious and valuable items. Point number 5, take initiative. If you see anyone who you may have a concern about, don't hesitate to ask them if they're okay. And if you're still concerned after your conversation, speak to your resident soph, speak to your resident staff. We all have done training and we're experienced in how to deal with different situations. Anything you guys tell us stays confidential. And we are here to help you guys through the big transition and through any problems that you may have and any ongoing problems. And we're here to talk. We're your family. We're like an older brother or sister to you. So don't ever hesitate to come in our rooms, knock, or send us a text, because we love to help people out, and that's what we signed up for, and that's why we want to live in residence again. We work hard to make it as safe and fun for all of you guys, and we just want the best for you. So please, once again, do not hesitate to contact us. On top of that, if you're ever confused about anything, we resident sophs are resource providers. So we know like everything. We know like the locations of buildings. We know how to use Student Center. We're experienced in OWL, Clubs Week, and we plan all this out to help you guys with your transition to university. Now, let's get to the second topic, which is your academics. Academics are super important, and we understand that the transition from high school to university is extremely overwhelming and a big step. Like, you went from high school where students receive all the notes and stuff from their teachers. At university, it's not like that. Yeah, you may have your textbook and you may have like class notes and stuff, but the professors expect you to, in your own time, study and learn topics ahead of time. So it never hurts to read ahead for your class, or read the textbook when you're done the class, or review what you wrote down, and make sure you attend all your classes because we want the best for you and your academics. Point number 2, there's TAs and office hours. Every single professor has a TA, and they provide office hours. It's located on OWL on the website. So whenever you're confused on what time it is, feel free to shoot them an email. Note, you do have to book an appointment to meet with them, and it will be via Zoom, so you will need the Zoom application. Point number 3, the OWL portal. A lot of FOSS have come up to me and asked me questions about the OWL portal because they're confused, and I get it. It is overwhelming and confusing because there's a lot on the website. Let's start off by, what is OWL? OWL is the class resource that all instructors and professors use to post announcements about the classes, the class notes, the lecture recordings, practice exams, or even quizzes. How do you navigate through OWL? You might wonder, how do you save a class so it's easily accessible and so you can go back and forth between different classes on OWL? Firstly, on the top right corner, there's something called Sites. When you click on Sites, your classes will show up on a list, and there's a star on the left side of the classes. If you click the star and it turns yellow, that will show up on the top of your page so that your classes are easily accessed. Number 2, super important point. So the most important card that you have is your Student One card. You don't want to lose it. It's your card that you use to enter residence building, pay for food in residence cafeterias or off campus. Student cards do work at off-campus restaurants such as King Richie's, for example, or Jack Astor's downtown, Moxie's downtown, but it does use your flex dollars. On your One card, there's 2 things. There's your flex dollars. You have 600 of that. You also have residence dollars, which you use in the cafeteria. Now, you don't want to lose your Student One card because it's $31 to replace, and that $31 could be well spent on other things. You guys know what I'm talking about. So if you do lose your Student One card, you will have to head to the UCC, to the Student Services building, and I will post a picture right here of what it looks like, and you will just go to them and they will help you get a new card. On top of that, your One card is used as identity for exams. Whenever you have an exam, the people monitoring the exams use that One card to make sure you are the person writing the exam. Now, let's cover room keys. So your room keys are white and they look like this. And they are used to access your suites and your rooms and lounges on your floor and stuff like that. So you don't want to lose that. If you do lose your room key, it's super easy to replace it. You go down to the front desk in your residence and tell them that you lost your room key and they will print you off a new one. But take note, you do get 2 free room key replacements monthly. After that, it starts at, I think it's $10 and then increases in increments of 5. And you don't want to pay $5 for a new room key, so just don't lose them. Be sensible and make sure they're safe at all times. Next up, Zoom. Zoom is used and required for a lot of classes. If you have office hours or if you have classes such as Business 1220, they require you to have a working device that shows a video and has working audio. You could download the Zoom app on your phone or you could download them on your computers. So make sure you have the application because it is very important. Now, let's talk about the confusing Western campus because it is a lot, and I will go over the most important buildings and what is inside of them in case you're confused. Now, firstly, I'm going to start with the UCC. It's located at the top of the campus, and inside the UCC is the food court, where they allow students to use the one card at any of the restaurants there, and it uses residence dollars. But take note, Starbucks and the Spoke do use your flex dollars, and you only have 600. So if you want to use residence dollars, you could go to places such as Tim Hortons or Subway, and you won't get charged. But they don't give you half price discount when you swipe your card like they do in residences. In addition, there's the Student Central Office. It's located next to the Spoke in UCC across from Weldon. And if you have any questions that you need to ask Student Central, you go to them and you have to book your appointment and they will speak to you one-on-one to help you. Next up, Weldon, the biggest library on campus at the top of the hill on campus across from the UCC. There, it's a library so you could sign out books, and there's a lot of study spaces. You do have to book slots because of COVID in Weldon, and you could do that via the Weldon website or Western app on your phone. On top of that, I know a lot of residences have study rooms on the floors or on the ground floor of the building, so don't ever hesitate to go there, but make sure you don't go over the capacity of the room. Next up is the NCB, otherwise known as the North Campus Building, and it's located along Perth Drive on the right side when you're looking from the river and the bridge at Delaware, on the right side of it. So it's just up Perth Road. The next building is the NSC, otherwise known as the Natural Sciences Center. It's located on Middlesex Drive nearby UCC and nearby the Social Science Center. Inside of the NSC, there is a library called the Allen and Betty Taylor Library, and it's just another great place for you to study. And do take note, you do have to book appointments when you want to study there. Next up, the University Hospital. The address is 339 Windermere Road, and you can't go in if some of your friends are ill because of COVID. They're limited and they can't have a bunch of people. So if you have an emergency, call 911 or talk to one of the sophs on your floor, and we will help you with the situation to make sure you're safe and you will get the help you need. And it's also located across from Saugeen. Next up is the Campus Police. It is located mid-campus on top of UC Hill, just behind the University College. Next up is the Music Building. I know there's a lot of music students here. So the Music Building is located lower campus along Lambton Drive. So it's on the way to the rec center when you're coming from buildings such as MedSid. Next up is the Spencer Engineering Building. There's a lot of Eng students here. It's located across from Alumni Hall, which is located left off campus when you're looking up on it, basically next to the rec center. So you can't miss it, and it's along Lambton Drive as well. Next up is the Ivy Business School. I know there's a lot of business students here, so it is important. It is located along Western and Sarnia Road, and it's a 1-minute walk from residences such as Perth, Essex, O'Hall, and London Hall. Now, I just have to cover some campus safety because campus safety is mega important. Now, we all know COVID is still a thing. Make sure you have your face masks on. I showed you how to put it on earlier. I will show you again. Your face mask, it's upside down, my mistake. But your face mask has to cover your mouth. It has to cover your nose. And make sure you have hand sanitizer on yourself at all times, because if you ever come in contact with like a door handle, you don't know who's touched that door handle. So make sure you stay sanitary and healthy and try not to touch your face as much as possible, because that is how the disease or COVID is transmitted. In addition, you may wonder, when can you take off your face masks? So we all know face masks are required when you enter any building or when you're outside on campus. So make sure you keep them on because safety comes first, and we don't want to have a COVID outbreak happen. So you could have your face mask off when you're in your dorm room. But as soon as you step out of your dorm or residence room, you have to put it on. It is required, and if any resident staff see you without it, you will get in trouble. So just be safe. You don't want to get on anyone's bad side, and you don't want to spread the disease. So make sure you have your face mask on. Also, you could take off your face mask when you're eating. So if you're in the dining hall or you're walking and you're eating food or drinking a coffee, you could have it off. But make sure it's on you at all times. And as soon as you finish eating, as soon as you finish your drink, you have to put it back on. It is just the rule, and it's how you stop the spread of COVID. Now, each building has a capacity. Each room has a capacity. So outside of each room, such as lounges or residence cafeterias, there are capacities, and they're located outside of the rooms on the windows or doors typically. And you cannot disobey and have more people than the capacity set. If any resident staff sees a room full of people and it's above capacity, you will get in trouble. Plus, you don't want to put others at risk. If there's too many people in one room at once, it is very high risk, and you do have to keep your face masks on whenever you're in any lounge or the cafeteria, etc., unless you're eating in the cafeteria. Now, if you have any COVID symptoms, you have to seek medical attention immediately. So go book a COVID testing appointment. There's a COVID testing center on campus. There's the university hospital. But make sure you get tested. And if you have any symptoms, please self-isolate yourself. Be smart. You don't want to give other people the virus, because that is just awful, and you don't want a spread to happen. Because if a spread happens, the whole campus is going to shut down. Because Western is one of the only campuses open right now, you don't want that to happen. And a lot of universities are watching us closely, and they want us to mess up and have a COVID outbreak. So be smart, wear your face mask, keep your hands clean, don't touch your face, and don't hang out with people you don't know and don't feel uncomfortable with. Take note that when you are in your residence rooms and suites, you can have other people in your room with their face masks off, but you have to consult and you have to have their consent. And consent is so important, because if someone feels uncomfortable being in a room with people who have their face masks off, that is not smart. And if you ever feel uncomfortable and someone is not going with the law or rules, you could talk to a resident soph or resident staff, and we will help with the situation and make sure it's settled. Now, there are consequences of not being safe when on campus. So, Western is one of the only universities open right now, as you know. And if a spread of COVID happens, the whole campus will shut down, and you don't want your first year to end early. That will be awful. You want to have as much fun, meet as many people, and that's what first year is about, So make sure you're safe. Make sure you don't go to buildings or places or go in rooms that are enclosed with a bunch of people, because that is how the spread of COVID will occur. On top of that, there are resident sophs, there are faculty sophs, there are dons. We are your resource providers. We will help you throughout the year. We are here to talk to you guys and give advice and give resources and help you guys if you ever need help. So come talk to us. We've been trained and we know how to deal with many different situations. So don't ever hesitate to talk to us. And once again, if you see or if you're concerned about anyone else, please come contact or tell one of the sophs, and we will help the situation and make sure it's dealt with and make sure the individual is okay, because your safety, and we care about you guys so much, because we're like your family, we're like your older brother, and anything you guys tell us is confidential and you could trust us about that. So we are here to help you throughout the whole year, and I just have to emphasize that even more. Anyways, guys, that is the end of the video, and I thank you all for taking the time to listen and acknowledge the topics covered in this video. Now, stay safe, be smart, and most of all, have fun, but safely. Peace out. I'm Jaws.